Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're tackling a genuinely critical skill, one that literally separates your everyday software engineers from those truly indispensable value-driving consultants. We're talking about the art of problem discovery in client-facing technical roles. You know, whether you're an embedded engineer, a technical consultant, or a forward-deployed engineer, your actual job goes way beyond just writing code or, answering support tickets. Your real job is seeing the invisible. Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to kick things off with the big picture, move into the problem discovery gap, break down the 4D framework, see it in action with applying the framework, shift gears into the strategic mindset shift, and wrap it all up with the ultimate takeaway. Section 1. The big picture, starting at the surface. Okay, let's dive into this by starting right at the surface. What exactly do we mean by problem discovery? Well, imagine a patient walks into a doctor's office complaining of a severe headache. Naturally, the patient asks for a painkiller. That right there is the stated problem. A reactive doctor just hands them the pills and sends them on their way. But a proactive doctor, a true diagnostician, starts paying close attention. They notice the patient is squinting at the clipboard. They test their vision and realize, wow, the patient actually just needs a pair of glasses. The headache, that was just a symptom of eye strain. Giving them a painkiller just masks the symptom. Giving them glasses actually solves the unstated need. Section 2. The problem discovery gap. Now, let's take that medical analogy and transition it directly into the professional world, specifically when you're deployed into a client's environment. The client relationship is basically like a giant iceberg. Above the water, you have the stated problem. These are the direct requests, the known bugs sitting in your issue tracker, the explicit support tickets. It's what the client tells you they want. But below the water, the massive hidden chunk of that iceberg is the unstated need. This is the behavioral friction. It's the totally inefficient workflows they've just gotten used to over the years. It's the gaps in their processes that they don't even have the vocabulary to articulate to you. Usually just a tiny fraction of what they actually need. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. If a problem is clearly stated in a highly defined ticket, well, practically anyone can solve it. You can Google the syntax, you can prompt an AI tool, you can just apply standard troubleshooting frameworks. The true competitive advantage, your unique value as a technical professional deployed right there on the front lines, lies in fighting those hidden problems below the surface that literally no one else has even noticed yet. Section 3. The 4D framework, the mechanics. So, how do we systematically find these unstated needs? Enter the 4D framework. This is a really structured mental model designed specifically to turn vague client friction into concrete, deployable product features. The 4 steps are detect, decode, dialogue, and design. It moves you perfectly from initial observation all the way to a deployed solution. Let's start with step 1, because it's honestly the most counterintuitive of the bunch. Detect is the act of silently observing client workflows. Notice I said silently observing, not interrogating. If you just walk up to a client and ask, hey, what's broken? They're only going to tell you the tip of the iceberg. Instead, detection requires watching how the client actually uses their tools day to day. Are they downloading data from your software just to manually copy-paste it into a spreadsheet before uploading it somewhere else? That behavioral workaround is a massive defect signal. You have to watch what they do, not just listen to what they say. Section 4. Applying the framework, real-world scenario. To really wrap our heads around this, let's look at a logistics warehouse scenario. Picture this. You're part of a software team deployed to a massive client site. The stated problem, the whole reason the sales team sold the contract in the first place, is just to implement a basic delivery tracking system. The client simply wants to know when a truck leaves and when it arrives. Simple enough, right? But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's run our 4Ds on this. First up, detect. By just hanging out on the warehouse floor, you observe that delivery drivers are literally using their personal cell phones to manually text customers that their package is 5 minutes away. The client never even mentioned this, but it's a huge operational friction point. Next, decode. You map this friction back to your own company's capabilities. You realize, wait a minute, our platform already has an automated SMS module that we use for password resets. We just need to adapt it. Third, dialogue. You don't just go rogue and build it blindly, you go back to your internal product managers. You say, hey, I found a gap. If we tweak our SMS module for delivery alerts, we solve a massive unstated problem. Finally, design. You build a rapid prototype, a quick MVP, to validate this automated texting solution right there on the warehouse floor. What's absolutely critical to understand here is the pacing of this framework. This isn't some sluggish 6-month waterfall project. It moves fast.
Typically, week 1 is spent deep in the client environment for detection and decoding. By week 2, you're having rapid dialogues with your internal product teams. And by week 3, you're designing and deploying that validated prototype to actually test the value. You iterate from discovery to a working solution in just 1 to 3 weeks.
Section 5, the strategic mindset shift, the architecture.
Now let's elevate this for the veterans in the room to the advanced architectural layer. A reactive engineer focuses purely on the stated problem. Their primary action? Just resolving tickets. As a result, the business fundamentally views them as a cost center, a necessary expense just to keep the lights on. But a proactive engineer, they focus on the unstated need. Their action is discovering and building entirely new solutions. The result? They transform themselves into a revenue generator. They're actively expanding the scope of the contract and finding brand new ways the company's product can be sold. An advanced, deployed engineer literally flips the script on how they spend their time. When you start your role, you might spend your days reacting to bugs. But as you master problem discovery, you'll shift to this kind of ratio. You'll spend maybe 20% of your time managing the defined routine issues, and a massive 80% of your time proactively discovering behavioral friction, designing cool prototypes, and generating new revenue streams. This right here is the deeper architectural thinking you've got to adopt. You are not just maintaining basic integrations for a single client. You are literally the tip of the spear for your company's entire product development lifecycle. When you solve that unstated SMS notification problem for one warehouse, you pass that validated feature right back to your product team. That single client friction point, it becomes a multi-tenant feature that your sales team can now turn around and sell to 100 other warehouses. You're providing real-time feedback directly from the front lines, effectively building your company's future product roadmap. How cool is that?
Section 6, the ultimate takeaway.
So, bringing all 3 of our layers together, the basics, the framework, and the strategy, what is the one thing you absolutely must walk away with today? Well, it's this. The world is full of brilliant minds that can solve a stated problem. The true competitive advantage belongs to those who can discover the unstated ones. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you going to spend your career just waiting for someone else to write a ticket and hand you a symptom to treat? Or are you going to step up, look below the surface of the iceberg, and start discovering the real problems that no one else even sees? The choice is completely yours. Keep learning, keep observing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.